Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the Zohar reading for World Peace. My name's Albert. I'll be your reader for today. First of all, let's just take a few seconds and see who is with us, who's joining us for this, beautiful action that we're all going to do together. That we're all in this one action, connecting, thinking about this world peace that we want to happen in the world, and we want the Zohar to help us to do that. So who's with us? We have Quenta is writing hello from California. Julie, greetings from Salt Lake. Sylvie's writing greetings and shalom from the Netherlands. Carl's writing greetings from Pittsburgh. Carly's sending a heart from California. Sean is writing love and peace from Melbourne, Australia. Todik from Brooklyn. Patricia is writing greetings from Ohio. Captain Murdoch from London. Patricia is writing, hi Albert, hi Patricia. Anna is writing much love to all. William's writing shalom. And Anne is writing hello from Iowa, USA. All right. So we have a few friends all over the world that are connecting and joining this action. Before we begin, we're going to watch a little clip from our teacher, Laitman, that will help us to really focus on this, the power that's within the Zohar. Let's see the clip.
While reading the Zohar, you are in a special relation, proximation with the upper force. The upper force, it's called the innermost force that dwells in the general desire, which is the generality of existence. And then you have the ability to bring yourself closer to Him, to use Him. The using Him is by placing yourself towards Him artificially, where you want Him to do this over you. Suppose a small girl dresses like a queen. She wants to be a queen, so she dresses as a queen. And then that force works on her and makes her into a queen. We understand this kind of depiction. Okay, so that's what we have to do. So, if next to this force, which you call Zohar, you want to be rich, in control, in power, to be proud over others, this will be for you the potion of death. If you want to put on good clothing of bestowal and so on, this is what you'll have. So that is it's like this wondrous force. And what you want. You get, of course, there are conditions about it, but all in all, both through all of these bad cases, bad things where a person asks not what's for, not things that are in his favor, then that upper force teaches that person through that and shows him the right path. That's called work through suffering. It's not a neutral force that whatever you want you can get. It is a positive force, meaning that it has a special form of bestowal. If you don't ask for that form, then you get the very opposite, and learn from that. It's better search for the right kind of clothing, the right form. That's called the short and convenient path.
All right, so we're going to begin the reading. And let's think before we begin, what do we want to get out of this reading? Let's refocus ourselves right now. We have a lot of people all over the world connecting to this broadcast that are listening to the reading, and there's a certain power to that for sure, and we want to use that power. Also, there's a certain power in the Zohar itself, and when many people come together and they want something out of it, they want something together, the world peace, they want some kind of a change, and we know the external world is a reflection of our internal world. So let's arrange all of these things and really set our intentions of how we want to be corrected, and through that correction we want to see it reflected in the whole world, and we want to do this all together with everyone who is watching right now and following along in this reading. Take 20 seconds, we'll set our intention, and we'll start the reading. Today's reading is from the Zohar, section BiHibaraan, BeAvraham, when they were created in Abraham. Item 45. Bara, created, is a hidden word that indicates that the key closes and does not open. And while the key closes with the word bara, the world was not. It did not exist, and tohu, chaos, was covering everything. While this tohu was dominating, the world was not and did not exist. 46. When did that key open the gates and was prepared to be used and to produce offspring? When Abraham, Hesed, arrived, as it is written, "These are the generations of the heaven and the earth when they were created." Do not pronounce it BiHibaraan when they were created, but rather BeAvraham in Abraham. Then all that was hidden in the word bara, the letters, the vessels, were used again, and they opened to listen. Then the pillar that produces offspring came out, the holy foundation organ on which the world stands, since bara, created, has the letters of ever, aleph, bet, resh, forming the word organ. And when did that key open the gates and was made ready for use and for bearing offspring? There are three things in this question. 1. Opening the gates means the descent of the bottom hay from Nikve 9 to the Peh, at which time the 49 gates open in Mochin of Chochmah. 2. Being made ready for use in clothing of Chochmah in light of Chasadim, where before the clothing of light of Chochmah in light of Chasadim, the Ahab could not receive the Mochin of Chochmah, even though they already conjoined in Galgal Te'enaim into a single degree. This is so because without clothing of Chasadim, Mi would not shine in Ele, and Ele would still be concealed in the name. And it is considered that the Mochin were not yet made available for use in the lower one. 3. To produce offspring means begetting souls. Since once Zeranpin receives those Mochin in full, he makes a coupling with the Nukva and begets the souls of the righteous. And he replies, when Abraham came, having been entirely hidden in the word bara, the letters were used. Abraham, Hesed of Zeranpin of Gadlut, at which time Hesed became Chochmah. And before Abraham came, everything was hidden in the word bara, and Tohu, Zon, governed the world. Also, Zon had neither Hasidim nor Chokhmah. And when Abraham came, meaning the light of Hesed that is imparted in Zeranpin, the gates were opened in abundance of Chokhmah, since the bottom hay descended from the Einaim to the Peh. Yeshut bonded with Abba Ve'ima into a single degree, and Gar of lights were drawn to Yeshut, meaning light of Chokhmah. And since Zeranpin already had light of Hasidim from Abraham, light of Chokhmah, clothed in light of Hasidim, the letters Ele bonded with me, the name Elohim was complemented, and the Mochin clothed in Zeranpin. This is why it was said that when Abraham came, the letters were reused, meaning that Mochin of Chokhmah were drawn into the Hasidim and clothed in Zeranpin, and the pillar that produces offspring came out. Since then, the bottom hay descended from Nikvei Einaim to Peh, and it too obtained Bina. Also, Zeranpin and Nukva, of whom he was deficient, are called New Nehi in him, with the Sod of Gadlut, which is called a holy foundation organ on which the world stands. Since through this organ he imparts upon the Nukva, who is called the bottom world, begetting the souls of the righteous. 47. When this Evar organ is inscribed in the word Bara, the upper hidden one inscribes another for his name and honor. This is the Me, and he created Ele. Also, the holy, blessed name Ma was inscribed and took out Evar from the word Bara. It is inscribed in Ele from this side and in Evar from that side. The hidden one, Ele, exists and Evar exists. When one is completed, the other is completed. He engraved the letter He for the Evar and engraved the letter Yod for Ele. Now, the Zohar details the Mochin of Zeranpin, which it previously introduced in general. It says that when the Evar is inscribed in the word Bara, the upper hidden one inscribes another for his name and honor, meaning me. This is so because the Evar is Yesod and Atara, crown, and Bara indicates the closing of the Gar by the ascent of the bottom hay to Nikvei Einaim. The Atara of the Evar is inscribed in the bottom hay in Nikvei Einaim, just as the lock, the bottom hay, is inscribed in the inscription of the key, Ateret Yesod. It is considered that hidden upper one, upper Abba Ve'ima, who are inscribed in the bottom hay, have now made another inscription in their lock, the inscription of the key, who is the Atara of the Evar. Then, Me is regarded as poised for a question, worthy of receiving man, lowering the bottom hay from the Einaim and elevating the letters Ele to them, and the Ahab with which the Gar of lights are extended. But before the bottom hay was inscribed in the inscription of the Evar, there was no extension of Gar, because the bottom hay herself is the 50th gate, which does not open with Gar. Hence, before they are inscribed in the key of the Evar, they are not called Me, because they are not poised for a question. And when this Evar was inscribed in the word Bara, when the bottom hay in the word Bara received the inscription of Evar, who is the key, and the upper hidden one inscribed another inscription for his name and honor. And this is the Me. Then Abba Ve'ima inscribed the key in the bottom hay in their Nikvei Einaim to be worthy of being called Me, meaning poised for a question, and to extend Mochin of Gar, since the Mochin are extended only in the inscription of the key. He bara ele, he created these, meaning that after the lock in the word bara was inscribed with the record of the key, the ivar, and became me, then me created ele. This means that the bottom hey descended from nikve inaim to the pe and raised the ha. The letters ele to the rosh and gar were extended. He created ele means concealment, since there is still no clothing of Hasidim in them, and the letters ele that rose are still hidden in the name and cannot be revealed without clothing of Hasidim. The holy blessed name, too, Ma, was inscribed and elicited Evar out of the word bara. Malchut that descended from the Einaim to the Peh is called Ma because the lower world is called Ma. This is the screen that was previously in Nikve Einaim. Now it came down to the Peh. The coupling was made on her, and she elicited the level of Chasadim, a light of blessing. By that, it brought out that concealment of the word bara and made it Evar, Yesod that gives Chasadim. The holy blessed name, too, Ma, was inscribed and elicited Evar from the word bara, since the light of Chasadim was still absent in the letters Ele to clothe in them. Hence, Ele was still hidden in the name. Thus, through the light of the blessing of Ma, the blocking of bara was opened and became a giving Ivar. Right, we're going to take a little break and watch another clip to refresh our intention.
Is there, could it be that during the reading that at some point we put it forth effort and at other times the Zohar pushes us along?
Well, first of all, you need to understand where you are. You know, if you look at an old film, you looked at an old film once, right? You know, like something from 30 years ago, 40 years ago. You see how naive people were, how their acting was different, and what they did back then was a real thing for them. They thought that they are, really serious about what they're doing, meaning the actors and their acting was good. The people were different people. If you look at 200 or 300 years ago, you'll see things even simpler and more primitive. If you would look at all peoples of the world, say 2,000 years ago, what would you find? How do they live? Almost like still on the trees. I'm talking about Europe and these areas, it's like almost barbarians, Think about the medieval times, etc. And then there are people who write these things that you read here 2,000 years ago. And this is everything, science, philosophy, perception of the world, perception of reality. Even if, say, between us here, a person like that would sit here, let's say, so you would see, who is this person compared to you? So you're given a contact here with something above our world, with the operation system. So that operation system, these forces, these souls that wrote to you about this, you are like a small baby, and you want to grow with them by being in their hands. So you want to rise, then raise your prayer, raise the requests, cry. It doesn't matter like you're asking how much I understand, how much I don't, which part of it is me, and so on. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens to you is what you deserve, and you don't set up your own situation. But from your state, try to understand where you are, whose hands you can be at, and go there.
All right. So we'll take another few seconds just to, again, set our intention, to reset our intention. We want to, like we heard in the clip, to really build a prayer to ask. So what do we want to get? We still have another 10 minutes or so of reading. What do we want to get from these 10 minutes? How do we want the Zohar to affect us? And what do we want as a result? So we'll just take a few seconds and set our intentions. It is inscribed in Ele from this side and in Evar from that side. Now 2 degrees are discerned in them, one opposite the other, since Ele are a hop with the mochin of Chochmah, which are still deficient of Chassidim on this side, and Evar, Yesod, that received the level of Chassidim from the Ma, stands opposite him on that side, deficient of Chochmah. It was said that the hidden Holy One, Ele, exists, and Evar exists, since Ele that obtained the mochin of Chochmah, who's called holiness, is concealed in the Partzuf on this side, and opposite stands Evar at the level of Chassidim in the Partzuf. When one is completed, the other is completed, since both went out through the descent of the bottom hay from Nikvei Einaim to the Peh. Since the Evar went out by the Ma in the Peh, similarly, Ele, or a hop, rose by the coming of Malchut below them to the Peh. It follows that when one is completed, the other is completed, because they come at once. He engraved the letter He for this Evar and engraved the letter Yud for Ele, since He indicates the screen that yields only the level of Chassidim, without Chochmah, as she is Malchut, who is unfit to receive Chochmah, but only Chassidim, while Yod indicates a screen of a male, suitable for reception of Chochmah. This is why he engraved the letter He for this Evar with the screen Ma, which extends only Chassidim without Chochmah, and engraved the letter Yod for this Ele with a screen of a male who extends Chochmah and not Chassidim. Item 48. When the letters awakened, Evar, He, and the letters Ele, Yod to complement this side and that side, he elicited the letter Mem. One took the Mem to this side, next to the letters Eloki, Ele, Yod, and one took the Mem to that side, next to the letters Avraham, Evar, He. Thus the holy name was completed, the combination Elokim was made, and the name Avraham, Abraham, was completed too. This is why it was said that when one was completed, the other was also completed. And there are those who say that the Creator took the letters Mi and placed them in the letters Ele, forming the combination Elokim. And the Creator took the letters Ma and placed them in Evar, forming the combination Avraham. The word Mi implies to 50 gates of Bina. Also, there's the letter Yod in the letter Mi, the first letter of the holy name. And the word Ma implies to the holy name, because Havaya, filled with the letters Aleph, is Ma in Gematria, 45. Also, in the word Ma, there's the second letter of the holy name Havaya, the letter He. It is written, Happy is the nation whose God is the Lord, Havaya. And it is written, and hangs the earth on Bli Ma, on nothing, and also without Ma. This implies to the number Havaya, filled with the letters Aleph, which is Ma in Gematria. And then the two worlds existed, the next world in Yud, and this world in He. He created the next world with Mi, and he created this world with Ma, and this implies the above and below. And then he produced offspring, and the name came out whole, which was not so before. It's written about it. These are the generations of the heaven and the earth, BiHibaraan, when they were created, which are the letters of BeAvraham in Abraham. Since all the generations were hanging incomplete until the name Abraham was created. When that name Abraham was completed, the holy name was completed, as it is written, on the day that the Lord God made earth and heaven, on the day that the Lord God made is the day when they were completed through the name Abraham. And then the name Havaya is mentioned. The name Havaya was not mentioned in the Torah thus far. Those two levels, the light of Chokhmah in Ele and the light of Chasadim in Ma, awakened to complement one another, to clothe in one another. Then, once the Chokhmah clothed in Chasadim, he elicited Mem, the Malchut that receives from those two levels together. One took the Mem next to the letters Eloki, and one took the Mem next to the letters Avraham, and the holy name was completed. The combination Elokim was formed, and so was the name Abraham. Since now there are 4 letters Eloki, and also he engraved the letter He for that Ivar, and there are the 4 letters Avraham there. Thus, now the letters have been complemented one atop the other, clothing the 2 levels, Chokhmah and Hasidim, in one another, and eliciting Mem, Malchut, that receives from all of them. Then one took that Mem to this side, the side of the letters of Eloki, and one took the Mem to that side, the side of the letters of Avraham. When the letters Eloki received the Mem, the holy name is completed, and the combination Elokim is formed, and the letters Avraham receive the Mem, and the name Avraham is completed too. And when that name Avraham is completed, the holy name is completed, for they are 2 levels, Chokhmah and Hasidim, which need each other. Hence, the holy name was not completed before the name Avraham was completed. All right, that was the reading for today. What did you guys think? Were you able to hold on to the intention? Was it challenging? Did you feel yourself lost in the story, or did you feel yourself more holding on to the intention of what you want to get out of it? Which side was pulling to which side? So just maybe take a few seconds and reflect. So this way, for the future, we'll maybe come up with a better game plan for holding on to the intention and for being able to really stay longer in it and to be able to draw more light out of the reading. And let's see who was with us. I read a few at the beginning and I'll have a few more right now. And he's writing Shalom from North Carolina. Gail is writing hello from South Africa. Michael's writing hi from San Francisco. Frederick is writing hi from Kenya. And Dewey's writing hello friends from Alaska, USA. Kibet is writing thanks from Ethiopia. Francine is writing prayers from Portland, Oregon. Jolene is writing love and unity to all from Ohio. Valerie is writing thank you for going over the sacred book. And Guinaldo is writing I'm from Angola. Patricia is writing thank you, and more thank yous. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you for participating in this broadcast. And we'll see you again next week. Take care.